A UK-based Africans indefinite leave to remain has been cancelled. This brother is all the way in Africa as we speak right now, but his indefinite leave to remain has been cancelled, and he has been told that he will not be able to come to the UK. The saddest part of this story is that until this brother's indefinite leave to remain being cancelled, he was not even aware of what is going on. If you know anyone who lives in the United Kingdom who has indefinite leave to remain, kindly ensure that they see this video. There are valuable lessons that can learn from the case of our brother Stanley. Let's dive into the story. Frank is my name. If you see my face for the first time on this channel, we share content about immigrant daily lived experiences. I apologize for my voice. I have not been feeling too well in the last few days. Let me know what your views are about the case of our brother Stanley. Stanley came to the United Kingdom. He was living in London. He met Monica, who comes from the same country as Stanley. Stanley was already working in the UK. Monica did not know much about Stanley's past. They met in a gathering. Before you know what was happening, they started dating. When they were dating, one day, Monica saw Stanley. He was looking not himself, looking depressed. She asked him, "Babe, what is going on with you?" Stanley said, initially, Stanley did not want to tell Monica why he was looking depressed. After persuasion, she managed to persuade him to tell her what was going on. Stanley said to Monica, "The Home Office have asked me to leave the United Kingdom, and I don't know what to do. This is the letter that they sent me." Monica looked at the letter. She saw that, yes, the Home Office have asked Stanley to leave the UK, but she saw at the bottom of the letter that Stanley has the right to appeal. She said to him, "Babe, don't worry, at least you still have the right to appeal. Here, what I will do for you is I will get you a good lawyer." When Stanley and Monica started looking for a lawyer, on the day that they were going to see the lawyer, that is when Stanley called Monica aside and said, "Babe, I want to tell you the truth. I am seeking asylum in the UK. I think it's better for me to tell you now so that when we get to where the lawyer is, you did not find out when I am talking to the lawyer." Monica said, "Okay, that's fine." She didn't ask too many questions because Stanley only told Monica the truth when they were going to see the lawyer. They went to see the lawyer. The lawyer said, "Yes, I can take up the case." Monica was the one that paid for the consultation. She paid for the consultation. She wanted to help Stanley. Stanley, the lawyer, took the case to court. The case again, Stanley was refused. The second time, he was asked again that he will have to leave the country. The lawyer appealed the case. Appealed the case for the third time. Stanley was lucky and his refugee asylum was granted. Stanley was given blue passport, that is refugee passport. Stanley felt that he was in a good relationship with Monica. The girl was there for him when the going was tough. Stanley therefore said, "I'm going to marry you." They now started planning for the wedding. But Monica said to him, "If you want to go to our home country, there might be a problem, which You've already told the UK government that you are seeking asylum because your life is at risk. The government in your home country cannot protect you. The two of them devised a plan. The plan is they will travel to the neighboring country. From the neighboring country, they will then go to their country together. The plan was good, sound as a plan. They went, Stanley met Monica's family. When he met the family, told them, they did their introduction, he told them that they will come back again for the main wedding. Meanwhile, they've done the traditional wedding. According to African tradition, they are now husband and wife. They flew back to the same route, neighboring country, back to their home country. They were living together as husband and wife, even though they are not legally married in the UK. Everything was going well. One day, Stanley got a call from an old friend who told him that, please help me pick my friend's daughter who is coming to do masters in the UK. Stanley went to the airport, picked this young girl. When he picked this girl, him and the girl started talking. The girl told Stanley that she has come to do masters in the UK. Stanley and the girl, they became friends. Stanley later found out that the girl, her father is a prominent politician in their home country. One day, the girl called Stanley, please come and help me, drive me to the airport and pick my dad, please. They went to pick the girl's dad. On the way back, Stanley and the man started talking. He now realized that the man is very influential in their home country. When Stanley dropped the man at home, the man gave Stanley £1,500 cash. As soon as my brother Stanley saw the money, his head went crazy. This man gave me £1,500 cash. Stanley was crazy. The next thing that Stanley started doing, he became close to the girl, the man's daughter. When the man went back, he became close to the man's daughter. Meanwhile, Monica, she works as a carer. She doesn't earn too much money. Stanley became friends with this girl. When the wife goes to work, he will call the girl. Before you know what was happening, Stanley and this girl, they started dating. Remember, brother Stanley has already done introduction in their home country. Whenever Monica asked him, what about the white wedding? Stanley will postpone the white wedding. What about baby? Stanley said, let's not have a baby now. Stanley's plan was that he has already told his friend, which Monica later found out. Stanley did not know that Monica wasn't asleep. She came from night shift. She was upstairs sleeping. Stanley was telling a friend over the phone that I'm not going to, this girl, that politician's daughter is the one I really want to marry because the father is rich. The father is connected. The father would help me to get connection in my home country so that I'll make a lot of money. He was saying all these things. He did not realize that his wife, she was upstairs and she was hearing what Stanley was saying. The woman was shocked. This is what my husband is saying? Stanley was telling the guy, I love that girl. Don't you think she's younger than my woman? She's younger, she's better, she's educated. How much does my woman earn? She only earns minimum wage. No. It's that politician's daughter that is the one that I am going to marry. I'm not going to. But the friend was saying to him, but what about the introduction that you've already done? Stanley said, I don't care about introduction. I want to marry this girl. Do you think I'm happy suffering? This girl's father can take me to the next level. Stanley had this conversation with his friend, and when Monica heard what Stanley was saying, she comforted Stanley. This is what you're saying. I heard you. Stanley said, they argued before. They used to argue in the relationship. When they argue, they'll resolve their differences because That girl is already on the side. When they argue that day, Stanley packed his things. I've had enough. He packed his things out of the house. The woman thought this guy is joking. The next day, he will come back. The next day, our brother Stanley did not come back. 2 days, the woman called. When are you coming back home? I said, I'm not coming back again. You're not coming back again. Stanley, the woman called her family. This is what is happening between my husband. He has left the house. He doesn't want to come back again. This woman's family, they called Stanley. Stanley refused to pick. They called Stanley's family. Say, Stanley, please talk to your daughter. You talk to your son. Your son is already paid bride price for this girl. He's already told everybody that this is his wife. When Stanley refused, meanwhile, Stanley has already told people that he's coming to marry Monica, that this is going to be the proper and the real wedding. That the first one is not real, it's not the real wedding. This one is going to be the real wedding. Before you know what was happening, the girl, when Monica realized that Stanley is serious, and it appears that this guy is determined not to come back to her house. Monica is aware that Stanley and her, they went back to their home country. And Stanley, with somebody who was granted a refugee status because he claimed asylum in the UK, is not supposed to go back to that home country. The girl threatened Stanley, say, look, if you are going to do this to me, I would report you to the Home Office. Stanley thought the girl would not carry out the threat. Stanley told the girl that the land that they bought in their home country, the house that they started building, that he has given everything to the girl. And the girl can take everything, but he is not coming back. But the girl should not carry out the threat. Before you know what was happening, Stanley was frequent travel to their home country. And he was telling everybody that he is going to their home country and he will use the opportunity to see his new girlfriend's family. When Stanley was there, what he didn't know was that Monica sent pictures of the wedding that she and Stanley had in their home country. The wedding took place 9 months after Stanley was granted refugee status in the UK. He now has indefinite leave to remain. The Home Office have already been looking into it. Stanley did not know that his case has already been reported to the Home Office. While Stanley was in their home country, that is when the Home Office, they've already cancelled. He did not even know, because if he had known, he would not have gone to his country. It was when Stanley was now on his way back to the UK, gave his passport to the airline. That is when they checked and they told our brother Stanley that, look, your indefinite leave to remain is no longer valid. Stanley initially thought it was a joke. It was when he was saying, what is happening now? That was when he called Monica. Monica now sent him an emoji with laugh, laugh, laugh. Did you do this? Like, all that she did was laugh, laugh, laugh. It was Stanley who called me last week to tell me his ordeal. As I speak to you now, the girl that Stanley wanted to marry, the young girl, when she found out that Stanley was already married to somebody else, and he did not even tell the girl that he had already done introduction in their home country, the girl said, I am no longer interested. If you can do this to somebody that was there with you, and you did not tell me that you were married, I am no longer interested. Stanley cannot use that other student because student cannot bring him to the UK, but the girl says she's no longer interested. Monica says she's no longer interested. The Home Office have cancelled Stanley's indefinite leave to remain because he obtained it by deception, by lying to the the UK government. You claim that you are seeking asylum because you are feeling persecution. When you were granted, you then went back to your own country to enjoy yourself and you had a party and they have all the evidence. Because of that, Stanley's indefinite leave to remain has been revoked. Indefinite leave to remain can be revoked if it's obtained through deception. Do you have any sympathy for Stanley? Do you think that Monica acted in revenge and she went too far? Let me know what your views are. The sad reality is that our brother Stanley is all the way in Africa. His indefinite leave to remain has been cancelled in the UK. Share this video with anyone